I know it's been a minute for Castmac chats because the Braves are struggling and it's bad, and I think we've reached our severe rock bottom point, and it's not even close. Let me share this real quick. It's it's just been absolutely disgusting. Offensively, having 5 to 6 spots, you're not trusting anything positive gonna happen from Ozzy to Michael to Nick Allen. Even though I can survive Nick Allen because his defense has been so good, and typically you can for Money Mike, but you can't. I mean, Ozzy is just an enigma that I still don't think Ozzy's wrist is right, but that is just me. And it's just, I don't know how Tim Hires still has a job with everybody struggling as bad as they are. Even Ronald's in a rut. Hey, Charles. I think he's 6 for his last 39. So, I mean, and everybody wants to fire Snit, but I don't think it's not going to happen given his stature in the organization and the All-Star game being in Atlanta next week and him being part of the staff. I don't think it's Snicker's fault. I don't think Alex Anthopoulos did enough, but I don't know, and the ownership didn't do enough giving him funds. But also you have the Jeff Hoffman didn't work out. Tanner Scott chose somewhere different. And Jurickson Profar's suspension really hurt. Hello, Salazar. So, and I think just so many starting 0-7, the 1-run losses, the great pitching, and then the pitching injuries, the broken elbow for Spencer Schwellenbach. Yeah, no, but Terry McGurk makes a lot of those decisions. What we can do financially and things of that nature. It's not as, I mean, I think it's gonna be Snit's last year, so I don't think it's as obvious as fire him because he's been in our organization for 58 years or whatever it is, so it's not as easy as everyone wants it to be. Plus, I think Tim Hires needs to be fired if anyone is going to be. But honestly, there's just not a lot of good to talk about. I mean, the catching positions have been awesome. Drake Baldwin and Sean Murphy have been great. Dylan Lee's been fantastic. I thought he was a snub for the All-Star. Yeah, I think there's some bullpen pieces that you can think about moving at the deadline. Raisel Iglesias being a free agent next year. You hope you get something for Marcell Ozuna, but with his hip injury, it's probably not going to get a lot. And he's struggling as much as anybody right now as well. You probably Pierce Johnson, Iggy, and Aaron Bummer probably the most likely candidates to be traded, and obviously Marcell Ozuna, but I just don't know. It needs to trend a little upwards for Marcell for us to get any sort of value, but who knows there. But that's probably the most likely hitter. I don't know what you do with Michael Harris. I want him to be sent down, but it doesn't look like that's happening, and he just looks completely lost, and it's really sad. So does Ozzy. But like I said, I think Ozzy's wrist is still bothering him. I don't know if that's the case, but I wish he would try a lighter bat. But Snit's not going anywhere unless they decide to make a move after the All-Star break, because the All-Star game is in Atlanta. I'm not going to be that vulgar about it. I think he needs a reset. But I'm trying my best to be respectful. It all sucks, but everybody cares that it sucks, and they're trying. So I'm trying to put the human side of it in there. I know the ultimate thing is you got to win games and things, but when it's not going well, it's the weight of the world's on everybody's shoulders, and this year with as many expectations as we had, and we're not getting blown out of games. It's just one thing or another. You got the Chris Sale broken ribs, and the Swellenbach broken elbow. If they know how, they would be out of the slumps by now, Joseph, I think. But I agree. I think Tim Hires needs to go. No, that's not going to happen. They paid $218 million for Max Fried. We weren't going to pay $218 million. Really happy that Max is doing what he's doing, but it's not going to happen. And even if we did have money, I don't think we would have spent $218 on Max, even though he's been so amazing. It's just my opinion. If everything was that easy, everybody would do it. No, 2021's not going to repeat itself. I would love to see Hayden Harris get a shot in the bullpen. Lacara as well. I don't know how to say that, but I would love that. And maybe Nacho getting a chance a little bit more at second base in the second half when he comes back from his injury, just to see what we have there. But I guess kind of when you go through 2 7-game losing streaks and lose 8 straight on Sunday, I think the world is kind of telling you that that's not going to happen either, Charles. He's happy with the Cubs. The Cubs are winning, and that's just not in the cards. But yeah, just bring up some of the younger pieces in the bullpen. I guess you could theoretically trade Iniel De Los Santos as well. Pierce Johnson is probably your most valuable piece because he has an extra year of control. But we'll see how everything plays out. And obviously, I'll have everything covered. But I think they'll stop. The Angels are actually in some sort of contention right now, so that I don't think that's going to happen either. The Darno Soler. Plus, Soler is having a really bad year himself. Maybe DH-wise, but I would like to see Baldwin and Murphy get more run there. That's what I would do, but I don't know. It just feels like maybe a Stan Pat type of, not Stan Pat in terms of players, but before making staff moves, because I think it's going to be a clean slate-ish going into 2026. Ozuna is, I hope that happens for him, but he has 10-5 rights, plus he's hurt with his hip. So I don't know that the value is going to be great. Plus, he has to approve every trade. Probably not for Charlie, especially where we are in the playoffs right now. Charlie has been pitching well, so I'm assuming if he approves it, I'm assuming he would go to a contender. But I guess I could see it for Charlie, but who knows? Very doubtful though. Yeah, the Ozuna thing. I mean, he's our most valuable hitter, but well, he just signed an 8-year deal with the Pirates a couple of years ago, but did reveal his no trade. So I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna work out. The Phillies need bullpen more than they need anything else, and the Mets as well. So maybe we'll get lucky there. I don't know. But it's just not good. None of it is. And like I said, if anyone's going to get fired, it'll be Tim Hires. But we might just ride this thing out and try to get a clean slate in 2026. Get the value that we can get. Restock the farm system. Hopefully with higher upper echelon position players. It won't. I would like that too, but I don't think it's gonna happen as much as we'd like. Yeah, kind of, Joseph, but outside of the Juan Soto trade, I don't think everything is worked out. And no, I don't think the Braves are in the same spot. I think this is a completely different situation. Like, we've been in so many 1-run and 2-run games. We're not getting blown out of the water. It's just one of those years that doesn't make sense any way you slice it. And I think with Snit on the last year of his deal, and we're probably going to go a different direction there. I think we'll just ride this out, do what we have to do in terms of the trade deadline. If we can get better at some positions for the future and now, that would be great. But it's hard to do both, but we'll see how we're able to pull it off. And yes, Olson deserved that spot. Yeah, like I've said this entire time, if anyone needs to be fired right now, I'll probably be the hitting coach. But if it hasn't happened now, I don't know that it will happen. But it should. Just so many guys having career worst years. And you can't really explain it, but it is what it is. And last year it was the injuries, but we still snuck into the playoffs. And this year it's just kind of all crashed and burned. Hopefully we kind of restock the farm system with position players, maybe some more versatility pieces in our roster. Maybe we can be more active on the free agent market like we have in years past with Alex Anthopoulos. That's good. The All-Star Game hats are awesome, and I still think it's going to be a great experience. All-Star Game wise, it just sucks that this year is what this year is. Obviously, we have second half or this week to see where things fall, but being 11 games under 500, it's just not. Doesn't look like it's in the cards. But 7 straight years of playoffs and a World Series, you take that and you figure Tim Hires. Oh, Kevin Seitzer. No, he's been solid in Seattle. I think he's happy where he is. But it might have been a knee-jerk reaction, even though I was happy with the change. But I think the guys are putting too much pressure on themselves, trying to prove that last year was a fluke and bringing in a new philosophy and everything. The power's gone away for the Braves. A lot of different things have happened that you just didn't foresee. And you really can't explain it, but again, these guys are human, and baseball is a hard game, and just as good hitting is contagious, so is bad. And it just feels like we're too passive. There's a million really good pitchers, so I'm pretty sure whoever replaces them will deserve it, for sure. Definitely. Swellenbach probably deserved it too, but he's also injured. Dylan Lee definitely deserved a spot in my mind. Chipper has already said that he does not want it. He's still a consultant, but he's got a lot of family stuff going on, so that won't happen. I would guess that wouldn't happen anyway. So Chipper's probably really out. So we'll see how it goes, but just still cheer on the guys, and see how it goes, and just try to have no expectations, but I'm sure there'll be a lot more close losses or annoying things going forward. Just because the deck of cards is what the deck of cards is until we change it, but it doesn't look like that is happening. But again, you got a lot of teams that have under the Orioles. I know they swept us, but Orioles and the Guardians have lost 10 in a row. The Nationals. Yeah, the Nationals aren't. You got some solid pieces. I think I expected more out of the starting rotation. I respect what you guys did, especially with Davey Martinez, and no, I don't want Davey Martinez as the Braves' next manager. I know there's ties, but I don't, because he put the blame squarely on the players. Yeah. Ryan Klesko does look good, but I mean, a lot of teams are going through things that are unexpected. Yankees, I know they won yesterday, but they've kind of fell flat. The Guardians losing 10 in a row. I expected more out of the A's as well. They got some really good pieces, though. I think it's trending better. The Red Sox are trending better. Just a lot of different weird things. Miami's trending better. The Rockies are still the Rockies, but they've had some nice moments. So it's just baseball's in a good spot, but a weird spot in terms of how things are going. Yeah, I mean, I think he's trying. He's getting too steep still. He's striking out too much, and can't lay out that slider. But it just feels like everybody is pressing too hard, and this is a crappy way for Snit to go out. I mean, Walt Weiss would work for me, but I could also see like a David Ross or something of that realm. I don't want to lose Rick Kranitz as pitching coach because I don't think there's many better out there. I know he's dealt with a bunch of injuries. AJ Smith-Shawver as well. So the pitching injuries have played a huge part. But I think the depth and versatility piece for the roster needs to be reevaluated so you're not, so you have viable options. Stop, Joseph. Snitker's not going to be a flip the table guy, never has been. And you can't, to say he doesn't stand up for his player just because he doesn't argue, that's a little cheap, but I get your point. But it's a little, Snitker's not going to just change his personality. Yeah, I think that's the only positive thing that we get out of this year is maybe a few Gold Gloves. Oh, I agree, but it's also, but there's a fine line with that, especially because the ABS is coming in. So I agree. I want a manager that has his players' backs, but Snitker has been one of the best at that. And just because he doesn't get thrown out every time an umpire is bad, doesn't mean he doesn't have his players' back. So I just wanted to clear that. I agree. There needs to be a little bit more fire, I think, but I also respect the heck out of what Snitker is. So I'm trying to be, again, respectful and all that stuff when it comes to that. But I do agree there could be a little bit more fire. But depth and versatility, I think, is something that may be missing because everybody loves the fact that our guys play every day. They want to play every day, but sometimes when you're in a slump, you need quality that you can trust that they're gonna put up good at bats, whether they put up the numbers or not. But just to give guys mental breaks, because when everything's going rosy and great, it's easier. But when it's not, you're just digging yourself a deeper hole. Yeah, Money Mike has lost it. I'm not sure. So sorry, that's just my lazy eye. So sorry. So it's just how my eye goes. I usually wear sunglasses, but not for lives. So it's all good. Nah. If anyone was gonna come up for Money Mike, I would have liked it to have been Carlos D. Rodriguez because he's had a solid year at Gwinnett. He came up. We just called him up. Did we send him back down for another arm? I don't know. But he was with the Gwinnett this year. And we just called him up for an extra. We might have called Dylan Dodd back up. I'm not sure. Yeah. Jesse's with the team right now unless we made transactional moves. Transactional moves lately, I don't know. But I didn't check. But Jesse was up with us yesterday. I do know that. Um, but it's just one of those years where uh, well, that stinks. But yeah, I mean this season is kind of just gross, and one that I've never. We're playing matchup, but I think that but I think Iggy's been really good. I don't think any trade we make right now matters, Joseph. We just needed another arm, honestly. So I don't think you should read too much into that one. At all. I really don't. And until we get closer to the trade deadline, I don't think there's going to be anything too significant. Should there be? Maybe. But just the way things are and the way everything keeps coming out, I just think that you got to get to the All-Star break and past it to see if anything's going to happen. And if it doesn't, then we'll just write it back. Oh no, Kelenic is. I think the Kelenic train has left the station. He's, again, if you're gonna bring up an outfielder, it needs to be Carlos D. Rodriguez, in my opinion, because he's had the most success at Gwinnett, 300 average high, and just gives you a lot more. Gives you speed, gives you defense, gives you pretty good at bat. I think he's hitting 309, stolen bases a little bit as well. I wish we would use the bunt and stuff a little bit more. I don't know who our emergency catcher would be at the moment. In our organization, we have plenty that we could use if we wanted to do the 3 catcher thing, but I don't know who our emergency catcher would be. Nick Allen, maybe. I don't know. Let's hope we don't have to find out. Putting that in the universe is very sketchy. But yeah, it's kind of one of those things, and it sucks. We didn't do a lot in the off season. I hope so. I'm a big fan of the Tigers. I just hope. I don't like the Mets. I don't like the Dodgers. I don't like the Phillies. There's not a lot of teams in the National League I like or can root for. So, whoever beats the Dodgers, I will be happy with that. And I hope somebody does. So. Yeah. And Nick Allen has been very serviceable and very solid. If everybody else was half what they usually are, no one would be saying a word about Nick Allen and the lack of offense or any of that. He's still giving us pretty good at bats for the most part this season. I really like him. But when you have center field and second struggling as much, yeah, the Tigers are fun. They're awesome, and I think they'll definitely add at the trade deadline. I'm not sure exactly what they need because I don't pay attention to them as much, but No, you didn't expect him to kill it, but him being the utility guy and willing to do all of that, and a good clubhouse and dugout guy. So, no, but I mean, I think he's a great veteran for what the Rockies are doing right now, so I don't think that's altogether surprising at all. But I think that these races are going to be fun, and it'll be. It's unfortunate that we're not good. He's swinging through too many fastballs. Just in a slump. Everybody goes through it, but our entire team's in a slump. So that's just my observation. Every time Ronald's in a slump, he swings through too many fastballs. Probably trying to do too much, given the state of our team. So it's pretty standard. Standard state of affairs, so to speak. But that's what happens when Ronald struggles. He strikes out more than we're used to. And he got off to such a blazing start. You didn't think it was going to last forever completely, but, you know, it is what it is. Hopefully he works out of it. But again, the whole offense is struggling. The whole team, the morale may be good, but you're still, the weight of the world's on the shoulders because of the expectations and how blatantly underperformed, underexpected. They're not going to trade Ronald right now. We have him until 2029. They're just trying to create conversation and make people talk. You would have to get an entire farm system for Ronald, and they probably won't equal the value. So that's we need to work on a contract extension because you don't want that to linger too long, but yeah, it's just people trying to create conversation. I'm hoping that's what it is, and since we have him until 2029, at least at the moment, I think it's just pure speculation and people trying to start fires. Thank you. I appreciate it. I try to keep these on the toes. I haven't gotten to use my winning hat as much as I would like, obviously, but here's what this year is. But again, hopefully we have some of the younger pieces come up in the second half, especially in the bullpen, and see what we have there. And you got Joe Jimenez progressing well in his bullpens. Probably won't. MLB Network has to. It's everybody because they don't. I don't think they respect the Braves as much as they just always assume trading. They always this, that, and the other. So thanks. I need to add some new ones to the collection, but I think yeah, I think it's a good element to the role and to the channel, and just try to make it fun because nothing is right now, but it helps, especially with uh, just keep trying to keep it as loose as possible, even though it's hard. Obviously, the Ozzy Albies decision will be harder this offseason. I think we pick up the $4 million option, um, and just hope that this is he can have a bounce back. But the decision gets harder and harder because that's really cool, Joseph. But we'll see. I mean, it's a lot of decisions we have to make, and probably faster, or they were easier decisions than yeah. This season has sucked. In so many ways. That's cool, Charles. Yeah, this season sucked in so many ways, and trying to find different ways to say how much the season has disappointed and different things. I think that's the hardest thing. But the most annoying thing is that we're in most of the games, but we can't hit the brats out of the barn. And some of the guys, I don't think they could get a hit if it was on a tee right now. I mean, so it's just so frustrating, and um, no, no, I think the playoffs are it would be an absolutely magical ride, but no, I right now we got to go like 50-22 to reach 90 wins, which is typically where you read, and that's probably not going to happen at all. No, I think it's very, like I said, we'll see. We kind of just got to get to the All-Star break, enjoy it in Atlanta, get past it, and see if we decide to make any drastic or any changes at this point, or just ride it out and then have it all happen in the off season, which is also a possibility. Even though, like I said, I think if anyone needs to be fired right now, it needs to be Tim Myers, but it just feels like a stand pat until and after the All-Star break. Then we cross that bridge. But nah, the playoffs are bleak. I think it's 5.9%, percentage wise. It would take a lot of things for sure. Yeah, it's just everybody thought that. I think it was what, May 18th we got to 24-23, and then promptly lost 14-17 after that, and it's just kind of. But it's unfathomable how we have so many talented guys on our roster, but they just can't. Hitting wise, they cannot get out of their own way. They cannot find rhythm. They're putting too much pressure on themselves. They're the human element of it all sucks. because they're wearing it, and it's not. Yeah, the offense only shows one game a week. That's for sure. Yeah, and it's just not what we do. It's not what we've done. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't get to 500. I don't know. But again, crappy seasons happen. They just you just hope they don't happen when you have this big of expectations, but sometimes it just crashes and burns and you don't know why. None of it makes sense, but sports can humble you as a fan, athlete, broadcaster, anything. Um, and there's no reason why, and you still take. Yeah, Nick Allen's been, like I said, the one bright spot in this season, I think, is overall the defense. And otherwise, I mean, yeah, I do think he will retire. I hope to God he does, honestly. And I think I think if the All-Star game wasn't in Atlanta, there might have been some more moves, but Snicker's been in our organization for 52 years. Yeah, I guess we can play the role of the spoiler, and I mean, we still we'll probably lose 30 or 30 plus one-run games or something, and thing like that. But it's just one of those seasons that none of it makes sense. And yeah, Snicker retiring. I just don't think it's. Everybody's saying it's as easy as it is. It's not easy when. Yeah, he did, and we've went to the playoffs 7 years in a row, and that is really hard to do. The consistency is really hard to do. Um, I think everybody saw the writing on the wall with Verdugo. That was god awful, except for like the first 2 weeks. Snicker, and also just to put a bow on the Snicker thing, Snicker's been in our organization for 50 plus years, so it's not like I think 7 straight postseasons and a World Series is pretty finished business. But letting a guy go like that, especially with the All-Star game being in Atlanta and everything like that, I think it would have been different. But I think. Yeah, we've only had 3 managers for me. I think Bobby, Freddie Gonzalez for that small period of time, um, and then Brian Snicker. So, and I believe I have this right. Hank Aaron hired Brian Snicker, and that was the last person that Hank Aaron hired when he was a staff member, so to speak, of our organization. So that's a big factor too. And honestly, it'll probably be Walt Weiss or David Ross, I would guess. Just my opinion. But yeah, probably. I don't think we're gonna go too far, and I hope we keep Rick Kranitz. But again, the depth and versatility of the roster, kind of that needs to be evaluated and changed a little bit. We don't have a Martin Prado or a Sosa type of player. Yeah. It feels like we should have won more World Series, but that's the way the ball bounces in the postseason. It just has to kind of all go right. Yes, Ronald is going to start the All-Star game. But yeah, I nope, no. We're not going there. Yeah, we did. We replaced him with a great guy in Matt Olson. Yeah, yeah, the Yankees were probably the bad buzzsaw that we just. But yeah, we definitely replaced Freddie Freeman. Fine. If you're gonna say we didn't replace anybody, I mean, I think Max Fried and Max Fried hurts more, and maybe Dansby Swanson. I disagree. And I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to. I love Freddie, but Matt is in the same class to me. I know average wise he's not going to be, but I'm just going to leave it at that. I get so much. Yeah, Orlando Arcia hasn't been on our team for a couple of months. I think AA is fine. I think that the ownership didn't. The ownership and Terry McGurk didn't leave AA a lot of finances this offseason, and a lot of deals fell through that we're not used to them happening, and Jurickson Profar really screwed us with the suspension and the Jeff Hoffman deal falling through, and Tanner Scott deciding to take the money in LA. That's a decision. I mean, it is what it is. It just feels like we didn't have a backup plan. And that's a little uncharacteristic, but I think the funds and things weren't exactly plush. So I think AA definitely deserves. I think AA definitely deserves a little leeway. I understand that we should have added more depth in the rotation for sure, and some different things, but ultimately it's just been the offense hasn't hit. And obviously the pitching injuries have played a part, especially the latest with Spencer Schwellenbach and Chris Sale, just freak injuries, and obviously AJ Smith-Shawver. But yeah, I think I get that people are angry at AA, but I think there's a lot more above the pay grade stuff that we're not privy to. Yeah, I love the chop house shots from Matt too. So I think I think AA definitely deserves. I mean, he's going to be around a while. We just signed that big contract. I mean, we could replace him, but I don't know who you're getting. And I think he deserves a little bit more leeway. And frankly, it's just the guys that are here haven't hit. Yeah, Riley is my favorite. He struggled this year for his standards, but I mean the whole offense is so. But yeah, I saw Riley's debut. and he's just been my favorite from then on. Just kind of that core memory, and he's been a hell of a player. Obviously, everything's down this year, but I'm glad he's going to be in our organization for a long time. But yeah. Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's just a year that nothing makes sense. Sports does that always, and I think that we've been spoiled, and it might be nice to watch the playoffs for 1 year where you're not nervous about it. So take that as for what it is. Thank you. And yeah, I mean, we're just not used to it, and it sucks the way it's happened because we're in a lot of games. It just hasn't can't hit the broadside of a barn, and sometimes that's how it goes. Yeah, Chipper and Hank Aaron for sure. And I think that is all I have. It's been really good discussion. He is a free agent. He spent a cup of coffee this year with the Yankees, but nothing nothing since. So yeah, he's a free agent. But good discussion, and just kind of thank you, Ray. I appreciate it. I just haven't really felt yeah. Just see how the rest of the season plays out. Cheer for the boys and go 2026. But I just haven't really felt like in the need, the want to go live because of how bad everything is. But sometimes it's just the reality, and discussing it kind of, just clears the air, and you understand that sports is not kind sometimes, but it yeah. As always, go Braves, champions forever, always. And I'll take one crappy season every 7-8 years if that's how it's got to go. And it'll be interesting to see how everything shakes out roster-wise / coaching staff and all that stuff. And I'll have it covered. But again, depth and versatility additions will be interesting to follow. And I think that's the biggest need that needs to be addressed. But if I go live again, it'll be on the next off day. Maybe I'll go live on the Home Run Derby. I haven't decided yet, but I will put it on my page so you guys can come and follow. Thanks. As always, go Braves, champions forever. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Helps out a lot. Thanks, guys. And talk to you later.